Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of the Fishing Teacher, and I really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to spend some time with me on the video today. We're going to be talking about when you want to have orange in your lures. There are certain times of the year that orange is going to be a big player. It's really attractive to the fish, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding that color. So I'm going to sort of give you guys, from my experience, when I do best on orange and give you guys some good tips and advice on today's video. Also, guys, just a couple quick things so we get started. Just a big thank you out there to everybody that's been using and bookmarking my tackle warehouse link for all your fishing tackle purchases. If you're one of the viewers out there that have been just using that link I put in the description of my videos when you buy your tackle, that's a big help to me and my family, since anything you buy, we get a small a small percentage of the commission on anything you buy. So that's a good way to support the channel, and big thank you for everybody that's been doing that. Okay guys, orange in lures here. Orange has been a standby color for a lot of years in bass fishing, and it's one of my favorite colors. I catch a lot of fish on orange lures, or specifically lures that have an orange accent, like a jig that's got orange on it, or some type of an orange looking crankbait. A lot of people, now if you follow bass fishing, you're very aware of the fact that people say that you want to use orange in the pre-spawn time of the year. That seems like that's just the given. It's just like one of those standard deals with fishing. And there is a lot of truth to that, because orange is really good in the pre-spawn time of the year, but there's other times too. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to give you guys sort of a breakdown on why orange works. Because I think a lot of people, maybe they have a little misconception on it. I think a lot of people think that orange is going to be a good lure color to use when the fish are feeding on crawdads, because crawdads change colors all the time, and there's orange on them at times, there's blue on them at times. I don't believe that's true in my own experience, and the reason I say that is because over the decades of bass fishing that I've done, I pay close attention to crawdad colors, and I'll usually go down to the bank and try to turn some rocks over and try to find some crawdads to look at their colors, and I try to match them. It never works, guys. I have tried to match crawdad colors for years, and it just does not seem to work. It's like if I see a crawdad that's got some green and black in it, I'll make a lure up like that. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold or flu right now. It's been bad the last couple of days. Or, if there's some blue or red or whatever the coloration of the crawdad, I've tried to duplicate that, and it simply does not equate into more fish for me. I've had so many situations where I've had crawdads that I found that have bright red pinchers on them or bright blue pinchers on them, and I make up the same type of a coloration on my jig or something, and it just doesn't work. So from my point of view, the reason I think that orange works good, now there's two different times of the year it works good. One is in the pre-spawn time of the year, and the other is in the fall time of the year, when the water temperature is in the 50s. Now this is, in my opinion, this is the number one thing above anything else. There's two things: water temperature and water clarity. When the water is in the 50s, specifically the low to mid 50s, this is when orange works really good. Baits like a chatterbait, a jig, a crankbait, something along those lines. I don't know what it is about it, but when that water temperature is 50 to 55 degrees, I always try to have some type of a lure that's got some orange on it. Now that takes place at two different times of the year. It takes place in the pre-spawn, usually between February to early April, depending upon what part of the country you're in. And then there's another window of it that happens in the late fall time, usually, November, December, again, depending upon your geographical part of the country. When that water's in the 50s, orange will also work good then. Now, in correlation with that water temperature, you have to have the right water clarity. From what I have seen in my own fishing, the best water clarity for some type of orange in your baits is, say, 2 to 4 foot of visibility. This is perfect for it. Ideally, I would say 2.5 to 3 feet would be perfect. If you gave me a perfect scenario to use some orange accented lures, give me water temperatures around 53, 54 degrees, and water visibility around 2.5 or 3 feet. Those combinations there will light them up. They'll light them up on orange lure. Now, there's also different variations of orange as far as how much orange you want to use. Sometimes orange is like just a little bit of a puff accent on the belly or something. Sometimes it's just a few strands on your jig. Sometimes it's, dyeing your pinchers on your jig trailer a little bit of orange. Let the light intensity dictate how much orange you want to use. If it's a low light day, like it's a cloudy or rainy day, go with some more orange. Same as if the water's a little bit more on the stain side. If you're starting to get down more into the 1.5 to 2 foot of visibility, use more orange. Now, I'll give you guys a prime example. I was fishing a tournament down at Grand Lake in Oklahoma 5 or 6 years ago, and I was catching some fish on a brown and orange jig, which was one of my favorites. But the water started getting a little bit more stained where I was fishing at, and the brown sort of started blending in a little bit too much. So I made a different jig up, and I made a solid orange jig, solid orange skirt, and I had a green pumpkin trailer on it that I dyed half orange. So I've got just a little bit of green pumpkin, and I've got solid orange jig skirt, solid orange trailer for the most part. And guys, I started whacking them. I caught the big bass of the day that day on that orange jig. Water visibility is about 1.5 foot. It was a cloudy day. So those conditions there are ideal for it. So that's just a good thing to remember. Coming up once you start hitting water temperature around 50 degrees this spring, start using some orange on your lures, or in the fall time of the year as well. And if you can get them on orange a lot of times, they usually produce bigger fish. Orange with a green pumpkin or brown combination is always a good choice. And also don't hesitate, guys, throwing a heavily orange chatterbait in the pre-spawn. An orange chatterbait with a green pumpkin trailer, great color in the pre-spawn. So hope it helps out. We'll talk later.